Hey guys, Eric, a Lions fan here. Wanted to go over the Detroit Lions versus the St. Louis Rams game today. I'm going to make this short because I wasn't here for all of it, and a lot of my talking points here are going to be what I got off of NFL.com, their stats page. But before I begin, I'm going to not use my cell phone anymore, my iPhone 6 here. It just doesn't take very good videos. My last two videos where it looked like the aspect ratio was not very good. I mean, it really kind of truncated the screen, and I'm just not going to use that anymore. I'm going to use the integrated webcam that I've got on here and the microphone that's here. Right now, it looks a little bit grainy on my screen here, but maybe that just needs a little bit of tweaking here and there. I'm gonna upload this video to YouTube and kind of take a look at it and maybe adjust a few things as we go along. So, just kind of wanted to make that clear before before we begin. The game was not, as I was in and out watching the game here and there, I was kind of doing some chores around the house and doing outside chores as well. I don't know what to make of this team. The game was just kind of lackluster. It wasn't really that exciting to watch. It was boring. I'm not saying that there wasn't any action or anything like that. It was just very, very monotonous, I guess is the term I'm trying to use. It just wasn't very exciting to watch. If you're a Rams fan, it was better for you guys. You obviously won. So, but Gurley ran for 16 carries, and he ran for 140 yards, which is almost 9 yards carry. It's 8.8. And Keenum, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm bad with names, so I apologize if I hacked his name up. Was 14 for 22 for 124 yards. Not bad, not great by any means, not the worst, but it was okay. I mean, Detroit seems to have this. I don't want to call it an aura, but has this way with making quarterbacks better than what they are. I mean, I'm not trying to say that make them Hall of Famers, which they are. Back in 2011, we made Matt Flynn seem like Peyton Manning and Tom Brady at the time. But Detroit has this way of making young quarterbacks, and even backups seem better than what they really are. And I don't know why that is. It just seems maybe it's just the aura of the Detroit Lions and the perennial loser. So people kind of think, hey, we're just playing the Detroit Lions. We should be able to do what we want. I mean, and they usually do. I don't have any explanation for it. It just seems odd that whenever some quarterback comes in, we make them look, or more often than not, we make them look better than what they really are. Stafford, I didn't think he looked that great. I don't know what's happened since the Philadelphia game, or even really since the Green Bay game. I mean, I thought they looked well against Green Bay, except for the meltdown there in the second half of the game, and especially that Hail Mary. I think it kind of deflated him and didn't make him feel ready to play here for this game. That's why it kind of was boring and not fun to watch. Calvin Johnson only had one catch. I'm not sure why he's not in the offense more. That kind of concerns me as a fan. I mean, he's your best player on the team, and he's one of the best players in the league. So why aren't you feeding him the ball more? I mean, you got him. And I know that a lot of teams double team Calvin Johnson because they think, well, if we double team Calvin Johnson, he's got to make us win the other way, and it's worked. I mean, it's worked. Matthew Stafford over the 7 years, and I know I'm kind of getting sidetracked here a little bit on the game, but I kind of want to make this point that in 7 years where Matthew Stafford, or however long it's been, I think it's been 7, that he's been with the Detroit Lions, I just haven't seen enough progression to make him want to be our quarterback next year. I mean, obviously that's only my view. Your view may be much different than what mine is. I just haven't seen that progression enough. Yeah, he can get us to the playoffs, but can he win in the playoffs? I mean, he's had his chances and he hasn't delivered, except maybe the penalty against Dallas, where Dallas went on to play Green Bay and we got kind of shafted. So But still, that's not an excuse by any means. I haven't seen enough progression for the man to get an extension with us. Although I think that's probably what's going to happen, unless the new GM that comes in, which whoever that's going to be, and I hope it's not Sheldon White. Please do not make Sheldon White the GM, the ongoing GM. Just don't do it. But whoever that next GM is needs to kind of really sit down with the team and ask them, do you want to be here or do you want to be somewhere else? And that goes for all the way up to Matthew Stafford, Golden Tate, and Calvin Johnson, all the way down to the practice squad players. There has to be this kind of sweep out that needs to be done, and I hope that we get the right general manager that knows what to do. Now, maybe he may say, look, I want a year to assess what I've got, and that's perfectly fine. But I hope that he makes these changes and makes the kind of the hard decisions to put this team in a more of a winning team instead of a perennial loser and that losing history that the Lions have had in the last 50 years. But sorry, I kind of went off track there. I blame Austin, and I blame Jim Bob, and I blame the ultimate blame goes on Caldwell for not preparing the team after the kind of the letdown in Detroit to get the team ready to play the Rams. And the Rams were a team that could have been I'm not saying a very easy win, but could have been a win for a team that kind of needed a win after that game, and they were playing well up till this point. I don't know what's changed, and I don't know if it's kind of the point where they've gotten to the point of, well, we're not going to make the playoffs, so we're not. I mean, I wouldn't say necessarily that they're tanking, but they're not really, I don't know, not have their heads in the game, I guess is kind of where I would go with this. They're kind of playing more for pride and respect, and maybe if they happen to be let go or something, they make it on another team. But I just kind of we're not making the playoffs again, so I'm not going to put my full effort in. So, and obviously, I think Detroit's obviously out of it. I mean, I can't see them in any way, shape, or form even making the playoffs. And even then, it was really short to even back when we started our win streak. I mean, everything would have had to fall into place. And obviously now, I just don't see that happening with this team. And obviously, with today's game being, I think 4-9, it's just not going to happen. So it's not happening. So I think they've been well, at least by me, they've been mathematically eliminated. I don't know if they've truly been, but we're going to have to wait and see how they play against. I think the next game is against the Saints. Another team that's beatable, very beatable, that the Lions can get a win. We're just going to have to see if they're up to the challenge. I mean, it's another. Drew Brees really hasn't been all that great with that team, and I don't know what's going on with that team. I mean, obviously, I have the Lions. I watch the Lions more than I watch any other NFL team, but I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on with that team. A lot like the Lions. I really don't know what's going on with that team except for game preparation. But I'll let it go from here. I mean, we're going on 9 minutes. I didn't mean to ramble on. I was going to make it short, and obviously it's not. It's almost 9 minutes. But hopefully we'll have a better showing against excuse me. Hopefully we have a better showing against New Orleans next weekend. So, everyone, kind of a disappointing game, like I said. If you're a Detroit Lions fan, you're going to hope for a win against New Orleans, but I don't know. I think this team's probably, I don't want to say they packed it in, but I'm not really looking forward to another win at all this season. So, but I'll leave it there. Have a good day, everyone. I'll see you again, hopefully next week. Peace.